So I think I think it's better to just treat BaZi, or what we call the four pillar of destiny, like a tour for your self-reflection or for your self-understanding. Because when we turn everything into like a four pillar, like the 8 characters, it is kind of like your life code. That is your energy, like what a different element, different energy are mixed in you, and how your energy are interact with the timing or with the environment. So I think maybe we can start from this point. Okay, so let's start with the concept. So what is BaZi? So BaZi is directly I'm paying from Chinese, but if we directly translate it into English, the ba means the number 8 and the zi means the word. So we can also call it as the 8 characters. So the 8 characters here are derived from your, we can find it get something like that. This is our 8 characters, and it can divide it into 4 different pillars. And for each pillar, it has 2 layers, which is we call it the heavenly stems and the earthly branches. So these 4 pillars are derived from the year of birth, what we call it the year pillar, and also the month of birth, the day of birth, and the hour of birth. So it is like, so the philosophy behind it is like your birthday information, that it is kind of like a timestamp. So BaZi is using this timestamp to map your energy climate at the moment you arrive to this world. So I'm not sure is it clearly to explain what is but so we can find that for each pillar. So we have talked before, it has 2 different layers. So the heavenly stems is kind of like some main energy on the surface. It can be the position of different stars, and the different positioning may cause different, like the gravity or something. And the earthly branches is more like some base support underneath. It can be the season, what is real happened or real support in the earth. It's just like from the sky and to the earth. And also, so we can find there is some information behind to this 4 different pillars, but it's just like it's just from a general aspect, because when we are analyzed BaZi, it should be case by case. So generally speaking, from the year pillar, it can hide some information about your like your large environment, like your family background and your early influences. And also from the month we can find it's the season. So because the month you're born, it contains important information, which is the season. So the season of your chart is very important because it can reflect the overall strength of the energy. So it can be linked to something like our job, our self-development, our career, and etc. And also the day pillar. So we will involve a new idea, what is called the day master. That is the core energy of you. So the day master would be the heavenly stem of the day pillar. We will talk it later. So the day master, it's kind of like yourself. So the day pillar can contain some information about your own little family. So sometimes we may use the earthly branches of the day pillar to reflect your marriage or your your romantic relationship. And also for the hour, the time pillar, I know some of you guys may forgot the exact time of your born. Me too, because I just roughly remember I was born in afternoon, but I'm not sure whether it's 2 p.m. or 4 p.m. But it doesn't matter, because the hourly pillar is relatively weak than the previous 3 pillars. So the hour may sometimes contain some, may link to our later life. Like sometimes it can reflect the relationship with you and maybe your child, your grandchild. That is kind of like a late life aspect. Okay. So we can find that when you enter your birthday, it will convert into the 8 characters like that. So we can find there are different like Chinese words. I know maybe some of you are not understand what exactly it is. So I also put some emojis to illustrate the features. So we can find there are some white and black dots, which is what we call yin and yang, and also some elements like the fire, like the water, like the metal, etc. So let's start with what is called yin and yang. It's the important composition of each characters. So I think yin and yang, all of you must may understand what is the something like this the Tai Chi pattern. So yin and yang is just like the white part and the black part of this Tai Chi. So actually the key point here is yin and yang is not good or bad. It's just 2 different modes of the same system. It's just like, like in computer science, every functionality of your computer is just composite with 0 and 1. So yin and yang is part of like 0 and 1. It's just some very basic element to compose everything. So yin and yang, when we just use it in our real life, it's just like a day, the night, and your breathe in and your breathe out. And also it can just reflect something like your focus and your rest. So no one is better. They need to keep the balance. So the key philosophy of yin and yang is how we can like maintain the balance. So, and also we find the interesting part is there's the dot. So the dot is also we can find that it's kind of like the key, like the wisdom of the Chinese traditional culture. It's like inside yin, there is a seed of yang, and also inside yang, there's a seed of yin. So we can just use it, maybe sometimes it can just reflect like nothing can exist standalone. That means these 2 kinds of mode or 2 different kind of energy need to mix together to form everything we can see or we can feel. And also, and after we have talked about yin and yang, which is the white dot and the black dot, we can find there is some emoji like the different element. What do we call the 5 element? So the 5 elements, it's like 5 kinds of energy. So it's not literally 5 substances, but it can be better to understand of like 5 types of energy, 5 types of movement, or we can even treat it like 5 phases of change. So in BaZi system, we have divided all kinds of energy into 5 elements, which is the wood, the fire, the earth, the metal, and water. So for each element, it has its own like feature. So we can find the wood. When we talk about wood, we can just imagine something like the growth. So it contains the energy of growth. So it's like something like the starting, something like the springtime, and also something like the sprouting plants. And also it can reflect to some new idea. And also the fire. So the fire, we know that is visible. So it can just like the energy of the expressions. So the fire is also can like some energy, some patience, something like summer, the sunlight, and everything. It can also reflect something like the social energy. And for the earth, we know that the earth are more like stable. So the earth elements have more energy of the stability. It's kind of like a support, the grounding, or the force to hold everything together. And also the metal. The metal is like the boundary. So we can just think that if you have a knife or if you have a blade, it can cut the boundary. So the metal is more like a structure. Yeah, and it can just we can just use it to analyze something like the boundaries, clarity, standards, or something like a structure, the rules, the quality, etc. And the last element is water. So the water is, we know that it's flexible, and the water is kind of like a soft energy. It can fit everywhere. So the word can sometimes also, we may use it to link to the intelligence, to something like the thinking, the adaptability, and also some like the quiet power, like your deep thinking or intuition and something. So the magic here is not about the label itself, but it's about the relationship, like how these 5 elements interact with each other and how the energy flows. So we can find from this figure, there are like 2 types of arrow. The arrow outside is a black dash arrow, which is we call it a generation circle. So the generation circle is kind of like supporting relationship. So we can find that the wood generate fire generate earth generate metal generate water, and the water generate wood, and back and forth. So it's form a supporting relationship. It's just like a supply chain of energy. So we can find that it's easy to understand, like the wood feeds fire, like the fuel, and also the fire can create some ash. The ash can maybe form into the soil and become the earth. And also the earth can produce metal, which is a mineral, and also the metal can like hold water. Or even we can think about the metal, when the metal melts, it can become kind of like the water or something. And also the water can grow wood because the plant needs water, right? So it's easy to understand the first important part, that is a supporting relationship. And we can find there's another type of relationship in between. It's like a star. So for this circle, we call it control circle. So, and also still need to remember, control here is not means destruction. It's not that bad. It's just a kind of regulation. And if we wanted to keep everything balanced, we need to use the control or regulation relationship. So it's also easy to understand that, let's start from the wood again. The wood can control earth, like the arrow is pointing at earth. So it's kind of like the wood. Maybe we know that sometimes the plants can stabilize the land. So that is also how we treat with the like the desert. We need to plant more trees to make the land or make the sand to hold together. And also, so this is one type of the control relation. And also the earth can control water. Like we can build a dam to hold the water, or even we can find that like a swimming pool, like a lake. Actually it's the earth to control what shapes of the water is. So it's another types of the control. And also the water can control fire. It's easy to understand. It's just water can put it out. And the fire controls metal. That means the fire can melt the metal. And also the metal controls wood. So like if you have an axe, you can just cut the trees. Yeah, so there is so when we are analyze a person's like the timing fortune, when we analyze a person's like the timing fortune, the key point to analyze is the energy flow, which we need to use this two relationship to decide which element is your supporting element and which element may make you stress or make you more pressures. Okay, So after we know what is yin and yang, and we know what is the 5 elements, we need to connect the dots together. So then we can just build. So we can find. So this is the weird here. So we can find that for each element, it has 2 modes. As we talked before, yin and yang are just 2 modes or 2 sides of the same of a system, or even of a same element. So we can find the wood can be yin mode and yang mode. So let's think about the wood. So when we are just back to the definition, we can find the yin is something inward, is something internal, is something subtle, and the yang is something like the outward, something like visible, something active. So let's think about the wood element. How can it be like these 2 different modes? So we can find maybe the wood in the yin mode, it can be a little grass, like a little flower. It's more subtle, it's more like inward. And also for the wood, the yang mode can be something like a big trees, right? So there are just 2 modes of a certain element. And also the fire is also easy to understand. The yin fire can be like a little candle, like this light. And the yang fire, the most obvious yang fire is the sun. Yeah, we just, the sunshine outside. So the sun is a typical symbol of the yang fire. And also the earth, so the yin earth can be something like the soil in your garden. It's like a more subtle, it's more inward. And also the yang earth can be the big mountain. It's more visible. And also the same thing, the metal. So the yin metal can be like jewelries, like your rings, your necklace, or your bracelet, something. And the yang mode of the metal, it can be like your a big axe or the weapon. And because it's more active, it can just cause some real circumstances. And also the water. The water, the yin mode and yang mode of the water, it can be like, so the yin mode of water, it can be rain. It can be a little like the mist. And the yang mode of water is more active, like the water is gonna to flow. It's like the ocean, the big river. So we can find, so after we know all this concept, we know how we can express time. So actually, I always wanted to using some like IT like terms, because I'm an IT person. So I can just say like the key concept of BaZi, or key concept of the 4 pillars, is actually a time as a moving system. Yeah. So because it's composite by 2 layers, the heaven layer. So the heavenly stem, which is the first layer, is just like the combination of yin and yang and 5 elements. So it's actually, we have 5 elements, we have 2 different modes, so we have 10 different combinations. So these combinations are the heavenly stems, and also for the earthly branches. So it's a little bit complex, because in our earthly branches, we have not 10 combination, we have actually 12, because we can find that for the earth element, it appears twice for both yin mode and yang mode. That is basically wants to it's a little bit complex, so I don't want to talk it right now, because it may make you more confused. But we can just think about like it can reflect what is kind of like our 4 seasons. They're using 4 different combination of the words to illustrate our 4 seasons. And also another way is easy to understand is so for the 12 earthly branches is exactly linked to like a 4-year animal, like the year of tiger, the year of rabbit. They have like 12-year animals. It's just linked to the 12 earthly branches. So when we combine one of the heavenly stem and one of the earthly branches, we have got one pillar unit. That is a pillar unit of time. And also, when you compare them in order, so we can find the full combination are repeat every 60 step. It's a basic mathematically calculation. I think everyone may understand it. So what? So for this 60 different steps or different combinations, what did we call the 60甲子? When we directly translate it into English, it can be like the 60-step time circle. And also, we can find that what about this year? So this year is the year of the snake, right? It's a year of snake. So the earthly branches is 4, which reflect to the snake. And the energy behind it's the young fire. So and also in the heavenly stem, that is the element on the top, will be yi. It's kind of like inward. So how time flows? So we can find that the next year 2026, the snacks is going to move one step further into the year of horse. It's going to be Wu. So this is the earthly branches of this year. So next year, everything going to move one step further. Like it's going to be Wu, which is going to move to the young fire. And also the same time, the heavenly stem is going to move one step further. So it's going to turn from Yi, which is the inward, into Bing, which is the young fire. So it's just like moving like this way. And so, yeah. So and in that way, we know what is BaZi look like. It's contain like 8 elements, and each element are combined with the yin and yang and 5 elements. So don't worry about how to calculate it, because we don't need to calculate it from scratch, because this is just ground truth. Like maybe like everyone born in like 2020 it's just like everyone born in this year will have the same year pillar, because this year is a year of snake, and everyone born this year is actually born in the year of snake, and they actually share the same year pillar. And also the same thing, if 2 of you are born the same day, maybe your year pillar, your monthly pillar, and your day pillar are going to be exactly the same thing. So we can just using the calculator to enter your birthday, and it will directly calculate your 8 characters. So I have built a little calculator here. If you're interested, you can just scan the QR code to enter your birthday, and it can just directly get something like that. And also there are also other like online calculators, but maybe it's a little bit complex, a little bit hard to understand. So I just built a like a easy mode. So we can just have a look at. Okay, it seems like it's hard to jump to the web link, but if you're interested, you can just scan the QR code. Doesn't matter, or we don't need to try it step by step. It's just like, so I have put a sample here. I just randomly put the birthday. It's not my birthday, and it's not anyone's birthday. It's just I randomly put something like that, and when I press the calculate, it's going to return me the 8 element of this person. So how, after we get these patterns, how we can read it, how we can analyze it, I have summarized the like 3 steps for you. So we can just do it step by step. So the first step is to find out what we call day master. So the day master is directly translated from Chinese phrases, but we can just understand as the main characters of this chart. It's just like the main characters, the main element of you. So it's the like the core element. We can just also take it as a reference point, because when we are analyze how energy flows, we need to analyze how other 7 elements are interact with you, which is with the wood here. And so the day master is just like a reference point. And also after we decide the reference point, so the first step is down. We know that this person, the yin wood yi, is the day master. That means it's the reference point. And after that, the second step is check the monthly branches, which is the most strong energy, the strongest energy in this 8 element. So because in BaZi, why the month branch is the strongest? It is because in BaZi, the month branch is it can represent the seasons, and the seasons is the climate your day master, that is you, was born into. So for these cases, the day master is a wood. So we can know that the wood born in spring is going to be naturally stronger, right? And also if the woods are born in winter, maybe it may feel a little bit cold and feel a little bit drained. So the energy is totally different for different seasons. So that's why the monthly branches is the most important. So we can find in these cases, the month branch is earth, the earth element. So we know that the earth element, how earth element interact with the wood, we can just back to the circle here. So we can find the earth element is actually the wood generate earth. So after the wood generate earth, the energy of wood will be lower. So we can find it's kind of like a control relationship between the wood and earth, right? And also, so this is the second step. So the third step is similar to the second step. It's just count other 6 elements, like except for the master, the day master itself, except for the month branch, we also need to calculate or to analyze other 6 elements. Yeah, so the Thursday, for the third step, we can just have a look at other elements like the water. The water can produce wood. So maybe that we can see that is the energy, like the plus energy. And also the wood in the earth, the wood, there's another like wood under the day master. So the wood can support wood itself because it's the same element. It's like kind of like the reinforcement. So, and beside that, we can find the fire. So how fire deal with the woods, the fire can burn the wood. So if we back to the circle here, we can find that the fire can burn the wood. That means the wood generates fire. So when the wood generates fire, it may like to exhaust it itself. And also for the metal can cut the wood. So back to the circle here, the metal controls the wood. So another types of the energy loss of the wood itself. Yeah, so so after we are doing all kinds of 3-step analysis, we can get our result. So the result is our like a most general result we can get from our first glance of these 8 characters. So we can find the day master strength is relatively weak. So again here, weak and strong is not means good or bad. It's just 2 different modes like yin and yang. So if the day master is weak, what we need, the core philosophy is to keep balance. So how we can keep balance? We need to use some like a helpful element. So if the wood is weak, what kind of element you need? So anyone give me an answer? It's very easy. Water, yeah. And yeah, so the water and wood, right? Because water can generate wood, and wood is wood self, it can get the reinforcement. And so, and then, so the opposite way, some unhelpful some unhelpful elements is like the fire. The wood don't like fire, especially when the day master is weak. And also the metal, the earth, these three are unhelpful elements. So after we get which kind of element is helpful, which kind of element is unhelpful, we can do our a little prediction for next year. Because we have talked about the next year is the year of fire, right? So the next year is going to be here. It's going to be 丙午, which is going to be the young fire plus the young fire. It's a strong fire year. So if the day master is going to, if a person's each character is going to like this, so we can do a first step. That is very general prediction. It's not exactly right. It's just in a most general way. It's like we can say this person may feel pressure or may feel more stress for next year. So this is just a easy way. You can a little prediction you can start with, but again, when we are analyzed, each person is still need to like case by case. Yeah, I think this is pretty much we're going to share today. So this is some key takeaways. So for the beginner level reading rules, we have like 3 different rules. So when we are get a person's 8 characters, like get a person's 8字, how we can read it. So the first rule is we need to analyze whether this day master, your core element, is strong or is weak. It doesn't mean good or bad. It's just like 2 types. So, and after we know the core element is strong or weak, we need to keep balance. So how to keep the balance? To find out the helpful element on unhelpful element. That is the second step. And for the third step, it's like more advanced, like your lucky pillars, because the 8 characters is just the energy of you. You need to interact with the real world. So we also need to analyze the energy of the timing. So we can find each year has its own year pillar, and each month has its own month pillar. It's just like a flow. It's a time. We also need to we are not only need to calculate the energy flow of yourself, but we also to check how your energy are interact with the outside energy. And we can find that someone says something like life can move in a 10 years phases. That is another key point we're going to analyze. Yeah, so maybe this part is we are not going to illustrate it in these courses because it's a more complex.